Hello, my name is Nicholas Poling, and today we're going to be looking at building relationships between students and teachers. Why is it important? What are some advantages does this practice bring to our classroom? How I personally have learned in my experience from our students and how to learn their interest in things. And of course, how a Christian outlook or a Christian teacher can help foster acceptance and the acceptance of differences in our classroom. All right, so let's start with building trust with our students. Why is it important? Why is building trust with our students important? So building trust between students and the instructors is essential to student success and classroom discipline. Having a positive relationship can encourage the students. It encourages them to participate. It motivates them to participate. It also creates a safe learning environment. Many students may have trauma or things or abuse in their life, and they need that safe learning environment to feel welcome in. It also overall just makes learning possible. If your students do not trust you, they will not engage with you. They will not care about your content. They will not care about you as a teacher. And only by showing them that you care and that you're supportive of them will they care in response, right? So it is very, very important to the classroom. So some of the best practices, how to build rapport and learn about your students, and these are some of the things that I have done. These are not the be-all, end-all, but these are some things that I have found to be successful. So when building a relationship with your students, some of the best practices that I have found is number one, to show interest. Show interest in your students' hobbies, in their lives, in their families. Ask them questions about their lives and interests. Maybe bring up current events that have to deal with their interest. But basically, the point is show the students you genuinely care about them and their interest, because by extension, they interpret that as you care about them as a person. Next, share your own interest, your personal hobbies, your families, your pets. Because if you're willing to share your lives with them, you are showing the students that you trust them with your personal life. And so therefore that encourages them to trust you in return with theirs. And lastly, allow the students some kind of platform, either online, in person, or a time slot, but allow them a way to express their interest or what's going on in their life, their current events in their life. Because this will allow the students, it will encourage the students to participate in discussions, conversations. It'll let them know that you care about them as an individual and you care about what they have to say, right? Which is very important. Now, how will I learn about my students and how I continue to do this? Some of the best practices that I see, physical practices that I see that work with my classroom. Number one, keep it simple. I always keep it simple when I'm learning with my classroom. Show you care. Like I said, ask questions about their interest. Want to learn about them. Genuinely show real interest in learning about your students. If your student seems off one day, ask about them. Is everything okay? Because if you're honest with the students and you honestly show that you care about them and you're genuine, then they will care about you. If you're fake, then the students will know. Next, student surveys. Student surveys are an excellent way, a physical way to get good data on your students, learn their interests, their hobbies, their backgrounds, their home life, all of the things that can affect their learning. Even some of the things that can hinder, like a lack of internet or a busy schedule or having to raise kids or raise siblings. All of these things can be learned through student surveys. So student surveys are an excellent way to learn their hobbies beyond just verbal communication. Next, how to address a student with a different point of view than you. So students are going to come into our class with various values, needs, viewpoints, and having a different opinion from us is to be expected. This has happened before in my own classroom where I've had students come in with different political or religious views than me. And basically, to simplify this, number one, address the student. Address what they're saying, address their viewpoints and their point of view, make sure that their opinions are heard and that they know that their opinions are valid, right? That they are allowed to have that opinion. Second, if it ever escalates, right? Or if the conversation ever becomes combative, never escalate it further. If the interaction seems to be going south, if it seems like, okay, this is no longer a conversation, this is an argument, then bow out of the conversation. The student must know that their opinions are valued and that there is value in them as a person, and they are allowed to have their opinions. But our job as instructors are to never fight, debate, or argue with the student. Next, and last, how to apply Christianity to the classroom. The Christian view in the world right now is show love to everyone, regardless of race, religion, or any other factors. As a Christian, our job is to show the love of God, treat everyone equally. And so some of the best practices I believe as a Christian is, number one, never judge a student. It's very easy to judge a student by their appearance, how they act, and we need to make sure that we don't do that. Make everyone feel welcome, right? I know it's sometimes hard as a teacher, never show favoritism, really. Make sure that everyone is treated equally and everyone is valued equally. Show love to your students, like we just talked about, especially when they're combative. Maybe you've had a bad exchange with them. Show that you forgive them, right? Be that bigger person. Show that you don't hold grudges, that you're willing to move on and still accept them. And lastly, celebrate the differences in your classroom. Maybe you have different people of different cultures, different languages, different religious beliefs. But show, like I said, that interest in them. Don't shut them down. But on the flip side, we never want to hold a student up on a pedestal, right? That'll make them feel awkward. But we want to show the students that they're valued, right? That their opinions, their backgrounds, their cultures, they're valued, their languages are valued, and them as individuals, right? Overall, our job as Christians is to act like Christ, right? Christ loved everyone, regardless of economic standing, religion, race, culture, language. He loved them all. And that is our job to do that in the classroom. Because sometimes we may be the only love these people have. That we may be the first true caring person in their life, like we talked about with students who have trauma before. And maybe we can really make a difference in someone's life and be that change in them. But here is our resources. Thank you very much for listening. This is all. Hopefully you learned something. And hopefully when you get into your classrooms, make those relationships with your students. But have a great day, and thank you very much.